Okay, we're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me properly. Checking my mic. Let me check the chat session to see if anyone is here. Okay. Let's see. Please bear with me. I usually also put this on my podcast. That way, I don't have to re-record. I just want to make sure that, people, the audio session are also listening to this. So let's see. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, everybody. So I'll just put this here for people who are listening via the podcast. And I'm live on YouTube. So the reason I have my headphone is so that I can be clearer, I believe. I am also supposed to go live on Facebook. Let's see. Bear with me. So how is everybody doing? I want to see people in the chat session. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. That's okay. Let's see. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with my process of adding destination. I was gonna add Facebook, but for some reason, I really wanted to stream on my Facebook page. Sorry about this. Well, I guess I would have to only stream on the group. So this is the reason why you should join my group. Because if you join my group, my Facebook group is I think I have the so what does it say? Search blah blah blah. I do apologize for this. I'm supposed to have everything already up and going. Please, for those people who are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. I have never used this app before, so this is my first time. I'm actually doing really well. Because I do. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. So are we good? We're good. Okay, factors to consider when choosing a Canadian province. Welcome back, everybody. This is Beatrice Otie. For those who don't know me, I'm an immigrant in Canada. And what I do is I inform my audience or clients ways to save time and money. I don't is it bright? Okay, I just want to make sure that the lighting is okay. Ways to save time and money and just little informations to know, that way they don't make mistakes and hover over around in one place or waste time. I'm very, very critical of time. There was a certain age I clocked and I'm like, you know what, time is not something to be wasted. Time is gold, time is precious. Do me well to subscribe on this channel. What I'll be doing going forward every single Monday up until March the 1st, I'm going to be coming live on YouTube and on my Facebook group. So right now I'm live here and I'm also live on my Facebook group. I tried to go live on LinkedIn, but the settings from this stream, from this broadcast didn't let me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and begin for factors to consider when choosing a province. So let's go. Just before I begin, I do have a freebie for newcomers. If you're a new subscriber as well as old subscribers, as long as you're streaming this, I want to see people in the chat session typing and letting me know. I have a freebie that let's put this there. My apologies. I have a freebie that I will be giving out. It's specifically streamlined to students, but if you are also an immigrant, you can still get it because it has some great information in regards to the weather conditions in different provinces. So you want to take advantage of that. I'm going to share the link at the end of this live broadcast. This is going to go for 1 hour. I'm going to share the link. I'm also going to mention it at the end in case people just joined this stream. Let me just get on board today. In the future, I will also be sharing my screen, and I feel like live broadcast is like it's more personal. People can see you, people can talk to you instead of just a video. And when you ask a question, you can respond, right? So that's why I love the live broadcast. So let's get on board. What are some of the factors to consider? In short, I am Beatrice, and you know I sing, right? So I don't know if I should do some singing stuff right here, but anyways, it's not for this. I just enjoy music. Anyway, so I've been getting a lot of messages, especially on my Facebook. I've been getting for like a year, 2 years. A lot of people just tell me, "How do you come to Canada? How did you like? What's the process like? Right? What are the fees? A lot of people don't even know like the tangible detail, like tiny little details, including myself. And I don't know why that is. It shouldn't really be like, I feel like if you know one thing, you can save 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And you also save stress, right? You also save stress. Not only do you save time, you save your time, you save yourself some stress, right? And I believe when you have a plan in place, it makes things like easier for you. Like it makes you like when you have a path, when you have a roadmap. That's why we have like a map. It makes things easier. You just don't drive to a place and be like, okay, you know what? We're gonna figure out where the mall is, and you keep going around in circles over and over, and you waste like 3 hours or 4 hours. But if you have a roadmap, and that's why technology has given us a GPS. I'm not here to preach. I will get on board to what it's 1 hour. It's an hour broadcast. So I came to realize that when there is a plan in place, when there is a roadmap, it's easy for someone to go from point A to point B, or it's easy for someone to go from point A to point Z because there is a roadmap. It might still take you time, but it won't take you as much time. It won't take you as much time as someone who does not know. What they're doing. I just want to make sure I'm looking into the camera. So let's get on board. So what are some of the factors you want to consider? Are you coming to study? Are you coming to work? Are you coming to immigrate? Are you a business investor? What exactly are you coming to Canada to do? These are some of the questions you need to sit down and ask yourself before beginning this Canada journey. And let me I'm a Wafarian, so I'm gonna be a little bit worried right now. What are you coming here to do? You need to sit down and ask yourself this question because the journey gets really interesting in Canada, especially the fact that the consultant does not come here to live with you. I actually usually recommend come in group or call with your family. When my family came to Canada, I was so relieved. However, life like you got to do what you got to do, right? This is life, and most times this journey we have to do it alone. Just pardon me. Just on the heat. So I'm gonna make sure I have some air coming in here. Great. So sorry about that. So you want to make sure you have everything planned in place. So you're a student, you're coming to Canada. What are you coming to study? Sit down and analyze. Now there are 10 provinces in Canada, and I grouped them into 4. I actually grouped them here into 4 regions. That way it's easier for you to, don't worry about this. I have a freebie that has all the provinces, that has all the weather. You can go there, you can download it. I'm going to share a link at the end of this broadcast. You can download it. And when you download it, go ahead and read the information in there. Answer the question. It's like a workbook. It's up on Amazon. It's been published on Amazon, and on Amazon I'm selling it for like $3-4. These are informations that only people who live in Canada would know. You wouldn't really know this information. Only people who live in Canada would know this information. So I just did the hard job for you. That way you sit down and you analyze and you tell yourself, okay, I'm going from point A to point Z, and someone has already given me like a roadmap, right? And now that someone has given me a roadmap, it's easier for me to know where I'm going. I'm not saying there won't be struggles, there will be struggles, there will be challenges, but you know where you're going. So for the 4 provinces, there are 4 regions. There's Atlantic region, which is Prince Edward Island, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. The central regions are basically Quebec and Ontario, and the Prairie province is Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. After this broadcast, sometime this week, I'll definitely make it this week. I will be uploading provincial nominee program for Saskatchewan. I'm still trying to make sure my design and fonts and everything looks good. I will endeavor to ensure that I have that, I have that up on my YouTube channel, so you can use that if you're going to consider Saskatchewan. But what I'm trying to get into is when you're coming to Canada as a student, as a worker, or as a business investor, whatever you want to do, always have a roadmap. And I have my board here because I want to be very practical on this channel. And I usually like doing things in form of like a pyramid. Like always we'll start from this bottom, right? And this is like, what am I coming to do? Am I coming to, am I coming to study? Am I coming to work? Right? And then always keep there's another factor here. So what am I coming to do is the number 1 factor. What am I coming to do? And if you're coming to study, if you're coming to work, if you're coming as a business investor, what are your long-term goals and what are your short-term goals? Now, for school, most people they do like masters in order for them to get provincial nominee in Ontario. I just want to mention there are 10 provinces. You don't have to sit down in one province. There is Newfoundland and Labrador, there is Prince Edward Island, there's Nova Scotia, there's New Brunswick, there's Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. They also have territories which are in the West Coast, the Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and Yukon territories. Although people don't really reside there because the population is low, and it usually gets pretty cold in those regions. So what most people do, they go to the central Canada, which is Ontario as well as Quebec. And you want to streamline what you're actually coming, what you're coming to Canada to do at the very bottom of the list. And then you work upwards. So let's say, for instance, you are a student, right? And you are going to Ontario. What's the second factor here is what skill set do you have? What career path are you going to take? A lot of people, they just come here and then they figure things out. And a lot of people, they have already figured it out in their home country, which is perfect. It's actually really good if you figured it out already, and then you have a roadmap and then you move on, right? However, it's fine if you are gonna figure it out here in Canada. That's okay, but you're gonna lose some time right there. It's fine. Life happens, but it's actually good. That's why I'm doing this. So you sit down and ask yourself, okay, I have 4 years down the line. In 4 years, in 2 years' time after I'm done with my master's, or in 4 years' time after I'm done with my BSc, I'm going to stay in Canada, or I'm going to leave. And I'm writing a book as well, or I'm going to leave. If you're going to leave Canada, then you don't have to worry about permanent residence. If you're going to stay in Canada, what are you going to do after school? Are you going to go back to school? The majority of, and there was a video I mentioned, like the majority of it is when you finish your degree, it's pretty tough to get a job. It's pretty tough to get a job. So what people do is they do low skill job, like they do some what's it called? They do some menial job. They get the skill, they save money, and then they go back to school to either do masters or PhD. They get some hands-on experience, and then they move on to their ideal career. Canada is very great, but I believe if you plan very well, you would love it. Now, this is for a student path, right? For a student will sit down and say, you know what, I I have 4 years, and after 4 years, I'm going to go ahead and do A, B, C, or D. Um, Now, I'm going to talk for people who are just coming to Canada, like straight, like getting permanent residency straight from your home country, be it Africa, be it not Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. Africa is a continent. Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Portugal, wherever you're coming from, right? Coming directly from those provinces. I actually strongly believe it's best to just get permanent residence, because when you get permanent residence, you're not paying 3 times the Canadian tuition, right? However, you have to show proof. You know, there are things they call eligibility criteria. And I already mentioned that I will be running tons of video. I talked about federal skill worker, federal skill trade. All those are already premiered on my channel. Those will be coming up. Canadian experience class. The tons of streams you could use to come to Canada. So the time factor and the skill factor is what I'm really, really, really big upon. When you're coming to Canada and you say, okay, I am coming here to, work. In 4 years' time, after my job, I'm gonna save money. So let's say 2022, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna work for XYZ amount of company. I'm gonna save, like, let's say $3,000, and then I'm gonna go back to school. And I want to mention, Canadian tuition is actually less. It's not, you don't pay like it's cheaper than international students. So you can always opt in to go back to school. When you go back to school, you can do like a master's or whatever. You get your ID career and you enjoy life. And you can actually set up a business in Canada as well. You know, the advantage of getting a permanent residency is enormous. You can set up a business here in Canada, and you can hire your family to join you here, to work with you here in Canada. You know, so the opportunities is enormous. You want to take advantage of those opportunities. Now, I've talked about the time factor. Now, I'm going to give a very, very great scenario. I'm going to give a scenario here. I think I did it in one of my podcast or episode, but I'm going to give a great scenario here. So let's say this is Mr. X, right? Let me just take this out. So I want to make sure I'm doing things. Everything is looking a little bit professional. Subscribe if you are new or you are just checking and you are coming around. Just make sure you subscribe, because this is going to be a 1-hour broadcast. Yes, and it's going to be done every single Monday. I will endeavor to ensure this goes for every single Monday up until March the 1st, because something good is coming. Okay, so this is Mr. X, right? And then this is Mr. J. I want you to see my board. So this is Mr. X, and then this is Mr. J. Mr. X, like, he does not know where to go, right? He doesn't have a roadmap. He has never been to Canada. You know, everything is just all gloomy and gloomy. And this is Mr. J, right? This is Mr. J. Mr. J has a roadmap. Mr. X, and before I actually talk about Mr. X, let me just share my story here. When I came to Canada, I was told that the university was in the airport. Wow. So I was just, manually, put in the airplane, came here, and I came here at age 17. Can you imagine that? That's why I'm so strong. My hobby is like, you're so strong, Came here at age 17. I was just put in the airplane, and I was like, you know what? Prior to that, I was told that the school was at the airport, and then I came, and then the school was not at the airport. The school was all the way, like, it was 5 hours drive. It was in Windsor, and I entered the bus, my people. After entering the bus, guess what? I dropped at the wrong spot. So there was a one stop. The driver had to stop at London, Ontario, and I thought that was where I was going to. That was not where I was going to. And I had already dropped my baggage. One good Samaritan woman now came and told me, "Madam," I blessed that woman. Till this day, I'm like, if I can see that woman, man, I will give her a hug. She was like, "Madam, no, this is not Windsor. You are in London, Ontario. Please go back." And thank God, the driver was about to move. I was like, "Stop. I thought this was Windsor." The driver was like, "No, it's not Windsor. Haven't you been here before?" I'm like, "No, I'm a newcomer." Do you know how that feels? And plus, like, it's a new environment, right? And he couldn't even understand my accent. The driver could not understand my accent. I was like, wow, 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 wow. And then I eventually came to my province. So I was crying all night. I was like, oh God, where is my family now? This is not living, no. And I got accepted into a St. John's church. It was an Anglican church, and coincidentally, it was the same name of the church back in Nigeria, St. John's Anglican Church. So yeah, and I just moved on from there. And it was a tough experience. But I really, really, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would have really loved coming with like my family, coming with like my husband, like my husband is here, coming like with my family, coming with like my mom, my dad, and all this stuff. I would have really loved to, because the struggle was real. But eventually I got better, and I really love that St. John's family. Like, they were so accepting, and I didn't feel racism. That one church, like, I did not feel prejudiced and stuff. Anyways, long story short, that's my story. And the reason why I lost my way, bringing us back to the effect of planning, is because there was no roadmap. There was no plan. I think the agent gave me a map, but I did not even know how to read a map. Anyways, let's go to Mr. John and Mr. X. And I want to do a practical example and show you how to save money and how to save time here. But it's entirely up to you, though. You could do what you want, but I feel if people have the tangible information, even if it's one tiny information, they will do so well. They will be so grateful. They would even pay for it. They would pay for it. So this is Mr. X and this is Mr. J. So Mr. X, what did I talk about? Okay, Mr. X has no direction. Mr. J is well prepared. Let me get another marker. Mr. J is well prepared. If you are joining us, please like, share, comment, click on the thumbs up, and kindly subscribe. This is Beatrice Otie. I think I saw someone coming live right now. Okay. So Mr. X does not have like a proper plan, right? I was Mr. X, but now I'm Mr. J. Mr. X does not have a proper plan. Mr. J does. So Mr. X is coming to Canada. Let's say Mr. X is coming to Canada to do BSCC. I advise you, do your education in your home country. Do your education in your home country, because you can always use education credential assessment. Education credential assessment is an assessment that is done by the Canadian government, where your degree, your education credentials is compared to that of a Canadian degree. So let's say you get a master's in Nigeria, the equivalent is also a master's in Canada. You don't necessarily need a Canadian degree to come to Canada. You understand? So save yourself some time and money. And I'm going to do a practical example. So this is Mr. X. Mr. X did a 4 years. My pen is not working. Mr. X did a 4 years degree in Canada. And then after Mr. X did a 4 years degree in Canada, he did not like have a direction, right? He did not have a direction. He did not know where to go. Oh, pardon me. I want to make sure my podcast is still recording. For those people who are listening to me via Anchor, thank you. People on Anchor, please go on YouTube and subscribe at Beatrice Otie. Okay? So, Mr. X and Mr. J. So, Mr. X did 4 years degree in Canada. Mr. X did not have a direction. Now, if you do a 4 years degree, he has probably spent $80,000, right? He has probably spent $80,000 plus the money he would also use for permanent residency. It's fine. You can school in Canada if you have the money. That's okay. But I'm just letting you know that you can actually save yourself some stress if you know certain things. So pay attention. Keep going with the factors. Okay, we'll keep going with the factors. Just want to make sure I want to tick every single factor I've talked about. I think I talked about the time factor. Oops. Talked about the time factor. Anyways. Now I believe I also talked about the skill. So 80,000 Canadian dollar, and he will still spend up to $3,000 or $4,000 just to get immigration, just to get permanent residency. So that's 80,000. Now let's come to Mr. Y. Mr. Y did his 4 years degree in his home country. He spent less than 80,000 getting that degree in his home country, and he used education credential assessment, came to Canada as a permanent resident. Although he has to show settlement fund, proof of fund, which is up if he's coming with his family and his wife. That's around like is it $29,000 to $30,000. He still saves money. This person has spent the money. This person is just showing the money. He still saves money. You know. and also saves time. Now, both of them do 4 years degree, like this person did 4 years degree plus stress. Remember, when you are schooling in Canada, your tuition fee is inexclusive. Like they don't, your tuition fee is your tuition fee. It does not include your rent, it does not include your feeding, it does not include your clothing. It's inexclusive of every other need and accommodation as well. Pardon me. You understand? So you want to make sure you are planning. If you want to do bachelor's degree in Canada, that's fine. That's very fine because a Canadian degree is a Canadian degree, right? However, like if you know that in the future you're going to come to Canada in 5 years, in 4 years, in 6 years, please just do it in your home country. And then you could use education credential assessment. WES is one of them. International credential assessment is another one. There are tons of them you could use. Just pardon me here. I just want to make sure I have those. I have the right information here. That yeah, that's it. So education WES is one of the best. A lot of people use WES because they are faster. The reason they use WES is because they are faster. They have other, like there are other people who also like do what WES does, but because WES is faster, a lot of people just stick to WES. Oh, get me, hold on. Please bear with me. I also want to mention the other pathways. Don't worry about it. I will share a link in the description. Make sure to get the workbook. I'll be sharing a freebie which has the, so there's World Education Services, which is WES. There's International Credential Assessment, ICA. There's IQA, International Qualification Assessment. There's ICE, International Credential Assessment. These are other platforms you could use to get your degree equivalent to a Canadian degree, and you just have to upload it into the, excuse me, it's cold, the season is cold, and I went out yesterday under the cold just to shoot a video. Please subscribe. Yeah, let me just drop this here. Yeah, so those are some of the services you could use. However, I will always suggest WES because WES is most popular and it's cheaper as well. You don't have to go there in person. Everything is done online. All you have to do, I would also, you know what, let me know in the comment section below, because I would also do a what's it called, I would also do a demo where I show you, you know, drink some water. I haven't drank water, so that's why my throat is dry. Yeah, I will show you a demo. Pardon me. I will show you a demo where you how to apply, how to put in your education, what's it called, your degree or your master's. I haven't eaten this morning. Your degree or your master's, I don't know, I'm forgetting words. Your degree or your master's, you put it in there. The address you have to submit your information to, what you have to do, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to inform you that I'm going to put that up as a video, not as live broadcast. Every single live broadcast I'll be talking about, I'll be sharing my screen in the future as well. I'll be sharing my screen in the future where I'll be talking about, like I would share my screen and just probably talk about like one of those provincial pathway. And I also promised you a freebie. You would get, like I will share the link, you would get that. I'll also leave it in the description. You would get that after this live broadcast. So I already talked about the factor about planning. If you're coming as a student, as a worker, as an investor, what you need to do, you need to tailor it to the tip. Canada is very, like, it's economic driven. What gain are you bringing to the economy? What skill are you good at, right? What career path would you take in the future? These are questions you should ask yourself, right? And I also mentioned earlier that a lot of people already have all those plans figured out. So it's pretty, you know, easy for them. For you, I believe you should sit down. If you're going to come to Canada in the next 5, 4, 3 years, you should sit down and, you know, I just want to make sure I'm looking into the camera. You should sit down and, you know, have that planned out. You know, it says proper planning leads to proper performance. And a man who fails to plan has already planned to fail. So the planning factor is a big factor. Your skill set is a big factor. And I'm also going to talk about choosing a province. And in my workbook, I included all 10 provinces and 3 territories as well as weather condition. There are some regions that are extremely cold. If you are asthmatic, I will advise you go to warmer provinces. British Columbia is warm. Vancouver, Ontario is warm. Windsor, there are some regions that are still pretty cold because they are eastern. There are some regions that are in the eastern. So you want to ensure, you check those up, and make sure you have your proper winter jacket, you have your scarf, you have your leggings, you have your gloves. I played all those things on my workbook. Those are things you got a checklist before you come, right? If you're coming to Canada in winter period, the winter season usually goes from December to like January, and then we have the fall, and then we have the summer where it gets pretty humid, and then we have spring, March, April, the spring spring period. So you want to keep those, you want to keep that in consideration. I already mentioned the provinces and the fall region. I am very, 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 very keen to pathways to take. So if you are coming to Canada via immigration, or if you plan to come via immigration, please listen up. Subscribe. I just saw someone come live again. Subscribe. And let me know in the comment section. If you are coming to Canada, especially via immigration routes, they are easier province. You don't have to sit down in Ontario and take IRCC again and again and again and again. You don't have to do that. Saskatchewan actually has, and I'm going to put up the video for that. Saskatchewan actually has 3 pathways. They have the farmer and the entrepreneurial pathway. They have the international skilled work, and they have the experience stream. And the international skilled work, these are pathways you should consider. Like if I mention it, you should consider it. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to Ontario. You can go to Ontario, but this whole thing comes down. Remember the triangle I showed you, and then you go to the lowest point. You plan to the lowest point and tell yourself, okay, if I'm coming to Ontario, what skill set do I have, right? And I'm going to talk about the jobs in terms of job availability in different provinces, because every province have their strong point. You want to go to a province where the job is in demand, like a lot of, like, the availability of the job is high. You don't want to go to your career is a job that is already in high demand and is already filled, like there is nobody available. Do you get what I mean? They don't want people in that job stream. It's just like saying you want to be a doctor in Canada. How are you going to get a doctor? Because if you want to be a doctor in Canada, you have to have a license. So how is that process going to be for you? Are you just going to come to Canada and take do medical school for 4 years, get your what's it called? Do medical school for 4 years, get your MCATs, write MCATs, and then do your residency? These are things you have to plan if you want to be a doctor. And where was I again? Can someone let me know in the comment section? Oh, the pathways to take. So I mentioned Saskatoon, and the reason why I love Saskatoon is because, number one, you just pay $300. It's not expensive compared to Ontario, where you pay $1,500, and this is for provincial nominee program. And the reason why I'm suggesting provincial nominee program is because the moment you get, like, your nomination is certified and you get your PNP certificate, your provincial nominee certificate, it's a guarantee you are getting an invitation to apply, and it's a guarantee you are coming to Canada. It's a guarantee because you've signed an agreement with a province saying that you will stay in that province, saying you will bring economic gain to that province. They will give it to you. They will give it to you, right? And you get 600 points in the CRS score. If you don't know what CRS score is, if you don't know what knock code is, there is a video I made. I explained knock number, knock code, express entry, CRS to a layman. So if you don't know what all those are, there's a video on my channel that you can listen to that explains it perfectly well for you. Go listen to it, okay? So Saskatoon skilled worker, the reason I like that stream is because there's the express entry one, where if you are a Canadian experience class, you've worked in Canada, you are international skilled worker, or international skilled trade. You can use those platforms to, immigrate to Canada. I'm not going to talk about international skilled trade, especially and skill worker. Go listen to it. I need views. Go listen to it. I'm not going to talk about it, And but the one that is very, very a lot of people use that is the in demand stream, the Saskatchewan in demand. If you don't have a job offer, as long as you have 1 year work experience in knock code A or B, you can apply. You submit an expression of interest under the Saskatchewan immigration nominee pathway, and then they give you invitation to apply, and then you get your PNP. For people who don't have a license, they have to go through like a licensure. They have to show licensure. Also, there's an exclusion list as well, I believe. Yeah, there's an exclusion list. You want to make sure that the job that you got on in demand is not in the exclusion list. Pardon me. I love Saskatchewan, although it pretty gets cold. In my workbook, I showed you, I put up a table of all the 10 provinces and I showed you like the average range of the weather conditions. So you can see that and say, you know what? And it changes though, it changes. What I gave you is just from 2010 to 2019. 1991 to 2019. I did research on it and I put that up for you. So you don't have to sit down 1 month, 2 months doing research. So you sit down and tell yourself, you know what, Saskatchewan is too cold. We don't want Saskatchewan. Let's do Manitoba. Good job. You want to go to Manitoba. What are the streams for Manitoba? What pathway do they offer if you want to do provincial nominee for Manitoba? They have the international education stream. They have the career, they have the business investor stream. They have the career employment pathway. They have international student pathway. They have skilled worker in Manitoba as well as skilled worker overseas. I will be putting up a provincial nominee for every single province in the future. This video is just to talk about the factors to consider so that you can sit down, plan. If you have to give yourself a 1-month plan or a 1-year plan before you come here so that you have a higher edge. Okay, so that you have a higher edge. I need to start seeing questions. Please type your questions in the chat session so I can answer those questions. I need to see questions. Okay, I need to see questions. So yeah, so I talked about those. I talked about Saskatoon. I talked about Manitoba. We have Ontario. If you believe that Ontario is for you, by all means come to Ontario. However, plan accordingly. Ontario is expensive. The provincial nominee program for Ontario for master's students, they only open it once. Although they have the job offer stream as well for international graduate, foreign worker. Remember, you have to get LMI. I believe, oh yeah, so that's coming up next week. Next week, Monday, I will probably stream that on Tuesday. Sorry, I will probably put it on Tuesday because I want to be live because I want to have an interactive session with my audience. That way, you know, I just want to be seeing questions coming in. I want to be answering questions. I want this to be as interactive as possible. I know this is my first time doing live, so I see people coming live and leaving. Please stay. Please stay. Please stay. So I talked about the one for the student worker. I talked about planning. I talked about provinces. I talked about Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. They also have Prince Edward Island. That's also a province you can look into emigrating. They have British Columbia. I love British Columbia because British Columbia does not say if you only have a degree in British. No, if you have a degree in every other province, you can immigrate to British Columbia. That they have the Atlantic Pilot Province. I will be doing a video on every single one of them. I'm just gonna go down to the factors. Now, I already talked about factors. Now let's come to job. Let's come to job. Let's come to your skill. So Canada actually does like job offer. Most of the route people come through for provincial nominee is through job offer. Now, a lot of people say it's so hard getting a job in Canada, let alone getting a job outside Canada. And this is where networking comes into play. Do you know that people are underplaying LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. Don't underplay that profile. You can just go on LinkedIn, be engaging, put creative content, educative content, encouraging content, motivational content. Just be active there. Do things in life. Talk about job opportunities you got. Talk about times you were down. You don't only have to talk about the bad. Talk about the good and the bad side. Talk about how you lost a job, how you got a job. Talk about some of the challenges you've gained. Get to know people, network, connect. I actually found out about podcasting. Yeah, and I also found out about a free program that offers a lot of online opportunities on LinkedIn. And how was I able to find it? Because I followed the CEO. I think he's into online marketing as well and all this digital stuff. So don't underplay LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. It's a very, very powerful platform. And please follow me on Instagram at immigration_vlog. I have a Facebook group called Immigration Vlog. Please follow those. Please do follow those. So yeah, so for the job factor, make sure your resume it's like streamlined to a Canadian resume. You know what? Like this immigration stuff I'm doing has opened a lot of opportunities for me. Like it has opened my eyes. So what I will do now, I will start making like resumes for you guys. It will be up on my website. However, I will need money for that one because hey, I'm going to have to sit down and do research. And I usually advise people to get up to 20 resumes. I know it's a lot. But get up to 20 resumes. And every resume you have should be tailored to the job type. So if you want to do nursing, if you want to get a job as a nursing assistant, should be tailored to that if you have that skill. If you want to do a job, if you like the job description says, okay, we need an accountant, and you have accounting skill as well as the degree, put that there. If the job is saying, oh, we need a clerk, or we need what are these people called now, receptionist, or we need whatever, just make sure your NOC code. These are for people outside Canada. Or these are for people outside Canada. Make sure your NOC code is under NOC code OAB. OAB. Okay, OAB. And I mentioned that in one of my episodes. B is for technical roles, 0 is for professional, and A is for like a licensed. B is for technical skills. Pardon me. B is for technical skills and apprenticeship. I've not eaten this morning, people. I had to sacrifice and say, you know what? I said I was going to show up. Let me show up. Let me show up. Subscribe, oh, subscribe. So yeah, that's it. That's it for the job. So make sure your resume is streamlined. Make sure your NOC code number is under the OA or B NOC codes. And yeah, after doing that, make sure you also have a cover letter. Network on LinkedIn. Network on LinkedIn. After the recruiter has messaged you, tell the recruiter, I'm looking for a position in Canada and I have this skill. What do you think? How do you think I will fit into this role? Have conversation, comment, be engaging. Don't go on LinkedIn and be looking at people's profile and only put your resume there. LinkedIn is people are underplaying LinkedIn. That platform is powerful. That platform is powerful. Use it wisely. That platform is good. So, you know, be engaging. Now, there are also places you could actually submit your resume. And what I want to tell you, I'm gonna get to the time factor. Immigration takes time. It takes some people 1 year. It takes some people 2 years. It takes some people 3 years. It takes some people 4 years. Yes, it takes time. Relax. No rush. We're not going to Russia. No, we're not going to Russia. Okay? So sit down and put this thing in your calendar and tell yourself, you know what, in 3 years' time, I'm going to go to Canada. Okay, how much do I have? How much do I have? What skill do I have? Do you know making hair? You can immigrate to Canada being a hairstylist. You're a manager. Under NOC code. Oh, you are a manager. All you have to do, what do you need to do? You just need to save money in 2-3 years, because you have to show proof of fund, and that's pretty high. There's a way people arrange it and do it abroad, but just make sure you show proof of fund. You have so amount, because you need to use that money when you come here. Job offer. When you come here, you need money to, be able to settle yourself, your family, accommodation, and other expenses. You understand? The government does not take care of you when you come here. That is a myth. The government does not take care of you. They do show you settlement services. There's a lot of settlement services here. There is a YMCA, that's for youth. There is immigrants for working women. There is a women working for women. So there's a lot of settlement services in Canada which you could use, right? But make sure that you have your money in place. You understand? Because nobody is going to take care of you if you don't, nobody is going to how do I say it? The government will not just randomly come and say, you know what, I will take care of all your needs. No, it doesn't work that way. Just make sure you have your settlement plan, right? And then when you come to Canada, you settle. If you want to move to a different province, you can always do that. Just make sure you fulfill the agreement in your professional means, stating that you will stay in a particular province for a certain amount of time. You get your Canadian citizenship. You are free like a bird. Okay. And now I'm very dramatic. Okay, so that's the job factor. It's tough getting a job offer, but make sure you network. If you know family members, even Manitoba has a platform for family strength. You just have to prove that you're going to settle in that province. If you have family members in Canada, let them know. If you have friends in Canada, let them know. Don't be afraid to share to let them know that, hey, you want to get this and that, you want to do this, you want to do that. Let them know. Give it to them and they would help you from there. When you see a recruiter, if a recruiter tells you no for a job, ask them, oh, why wasn't I picked for the role? What was my weaknesses? Learn from those weaknesses and move on. It's tough. I remember that I applied for 30 jobs in Canada and they all said no. 30. 30. That hurts. And I'm in Canada. Oh, that hurts, but you don't have to give up. Although I currently have a job right now, I work with Southern and Global Services as an IT specialist, and that's why now I'm more technologically inclined. I came through, and I don't even know why I studied what I studied, but God knows what He's doing, right? And another thing too, because I'm a Christian, pray, seek God, seek the face of God. God helps you faster than what God will do for you in a minute is it's tremendous that you can do for yourself in 10 years. So seek the Lord for that as well. So we talked about the job offer factor, making sure you have a resume, making sure you network, making sure you keep in touch with the recruiter, making sure you engage on LinkedIn, you post educative content. Let's come to the costs. The costs is another factor. Canada is expensive. Your fee for the processing fee is $825. So after you've done provincial nominee, you still have to go into the express entry platform, the federal platform, and put in your information. You pay $825 for your processing fee, and then you pay $550, I believe, not 500, $550 for your rights. Although the refunds, so if the application is not approved, they refund the processing fee, but they keep the rights, which is the $550. So the costs, settlement fund differs depending if you're coming as a single applicant, if you're coming with your spouse, if you're coming with your family, right? I'm going to put up the table. I'm going to put the table in the description. I am still learning this pathway. In the future, I'll probably share my screen. Let me actually see if I can share my screen. Let me not be static here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Like, okay. I've never had to do this before. Okay, so okay. I'm trying to see how this works. I'm trying to see if I can share my screen. Okay, cool. Okay, where is my okay? I'm going to okay, I can't actually see myself here. Just want to make sure this is engaging as possible. So I want to share the screen in regards to the different what's it called settlement funds. Understand? Because you want to make sure we're aware about the different fees you need to bring to the different fees you need to bring to Canada, so you are aware. So you're aware about those fees and you plan accordingly. It's pretty expensive. But what I tell people is if you want to okay, so this is where you go for everything, right? This is where you go for everything. This is where you go for everything. Let me see. No, I don't want to apply. No. I don't want to apply. I want to see the fees. I want to see the fees. Okay, so this is the fee list. So you can see for an applicant is showing 2,000, around $2,000. Oh, that's 500 or 550. Me, I knew it was 550 because I know that change happened in 2020. I'm actually looking for the fee where it breaks it down. It breaks it down to it breaks it down for an individual how much the money would be for for an individual how much the money would be if you're coming as a family. Okay, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. Can you all see my screen? So if you're coming as an individual, you pay $12,960. If you're coming with your spouse, you pay 16,000, 19,000. 4 people, 24,000, 5, 27. Everything is broken down for you. This is the proof of funds you show. And remember, although the settlement services, they will help you if you're going to use the Atlantic Pilot Province. Remember, I just wanted to point out, remember that this is inexclusive. Let me stop screen share. Stop screen share, please. Remember that this is inexclusive of your feeding fees and your accommodation fees. I want to point that out. You want to make sure your accommodation, although it's included there, your accommodation is there, your feeding is there, and that can sustain you. For people who are going to use federal skilled, it's the federal skilled worker. You don't necessarily need like a job offer, but you have to show you have money experience in the last 10 years. So you want to make sure you have money and funds to take care of you. So the fee factor is a big one. For international students who is coming here to study, that's why I included the workbook. And in the workbook, it shows you how much you have to pay as an international student for renting. Most of the fees goes from 500 and above for renting. How much you have to pay for feeding and all that. How much you have to pay for transportation. Your basic needs, food, clothing, and shelter. Those are your basic needs. How much you have to pay for those. You want to make sure those are taken care of. Put those ones in fact. Can your dad afford to pay 10,000 per semester? I think it has gone up. At the time I was in school, it was 10,000. This is another thing. If you come directly from Canada, you can also go back to school. However, you'll probably be doing a master. So keep those things in mind. Keep those things in mind. Those were the mistakes I made, and I still see people making those mistakes. So it's not just me. I still see people making those mistakes, but everybody with their pathway. So yeah, you want to keep the cost, your financial cost. Cost for clothing and transportation, cost for your permanent residency fee, and then the timing factor. I think I already mentioned it. It takes a year, it takes 2 years, it takes some people 4 years, it takes some people 5 years, it takes some people 6 years, especially for that invitation to apply. For people who are outside Canada, if you don't get a job offer, all you got to do is try. Keep trying. If you believe Canada is your dream, you will eventually get it. There's a certain news I saw. A lady, it took her 10 years to pass one exam. Oh, one more thing. You write IRCC exam, so you want to consider the language factor. So if you don't want to take IRCC, you can take CELPIP, you can take TCF, you can take TEC. However, I recommend taking IELTS. I took IELTS, I took CELPIP. I feel like IELTS work for me. Just look for what works for you. The good thing about IELTS is it's paper format. I am very I love holding paper. I know I'm like people in the olden days. I don't know. I'm a millennial, by the way, but I love it when I see things and I put my hands through them. I don't like computers. Tell people you have to type, and I don't like typing when it doesn't synchronize with my brain properly. I love it when I have a paper and I'm writing and I'm underlining things. And IELTS does that. Although for the IELTS writing, it's a pretty tough work. For the IELTS writing, you write it out. You put the comma with your hand. You put the full stop with your hand. So it's up to you. Choose which platform. But the language is also a factor. The language is a factor. Now, I also wanted to mention for people who do not want to go through the regular route, which is like express entry, yada yada yada. There is refugee, but just make sure you show proof, right? There's refugee. That's also another way you can come to Canada. I'm going to talk about those. Let me know in the comment section. I was also going to mention LMIA and LMIA exempt. I think that's going to stream next week. Is it going to stream next week or is it going to stream tomorrow? Oh, it's going to stream next week Tuesday. Pardon me. Do me well to subscribe, like, share, click on the notification bell. I just want to make sure I'm saying that. Subscribe well. Getting to the end of the live broadcast. Oh my God. I can't believe it's almost, wow. I can't believe it's almost an hour. Oh. I can't talk. Oh. Hey, see me. Anyways, I promised that I was going to come live. So I'm like, you know what? I better come live. I better come live. I don't want to disappoint, you know. I'm building my credibility. So yeah, I was going to talk about LMI and LMI exempt. LMI is labor market impact assessment. LMI exempt is also labor market impact assessment. It's a closed work, like they issue you a work permit, but there's a positive LMI and there's a negative LMI. A positive LMI is when someone has applied. So this is like the employment factors, like the offers, the other routes you have to take if the job offer route via provincial nominee is not working. So other factors. I classify this as other factors. I talked about the planning factor, talked about the weather factor, I talked about your job factor, I talked about the financial factor. Now I'm talking about the other factor, right? Other pathways that you can take. So LMI is labor market impact assessment. That's an option you could take, but now usually a lot of people who do this are people who they already have a business. Remember, I said earlier that open a business and invite your family. They already have a business, and it's like let's say it's a restaurant job or something, and most Canadian or permanent residents wouldn't want to do the job, like working in a Chinese restaurant, and if the requirement is speaking Chinese, no permanent residents, or except the permanent residents is a Chinese person, right? But then the employer has to run a job posting for 4 weeks, saying a Canadian or a permanent resident could not take it. If that job is vacant and no permanent residents could take it, oh, okay. I believe my podcast is done. Okay. I'm gonna have to save this. Please bear with me, people who are streaming. Factors to people who are streaming live on people who are streaming live with me on YouTube. I just have to let the people on Anchor go. Thank you so much for listening, people on Anchor. Please go on my YouTube channel and subscribe at Beatrice Otie. I promise to going forward to also to start sharing, you know, educative content regards to immigrating to Canada, so you can save more time, save money. Okay. For people on YouTube, please follow me on Instagram at immigration_vlog, Facebook on immigration vlog. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the LMI stuff. So positive LMI, where did I? Yeah, positive LMI and immigration. A permanent residents could not get a job. A Canadian could not get the job. Like they don't have the skill. They could not fit. Like the job is not. They could not fit in. Then they give it to someone outside. If you have a job, for instance, let's say I have a business in Canada, like I have a restaurant and I need people who are Yoruba or Igbo speaking individual. There is no permanent residence or Canada that can speak Igbo. I run the job for folks, they can't speak Igbo. I'll give someone outside and bring them here, right? And then they will issue you an LMIA, although the employer does a lot of job. It's kind of stressful, so employers don't like doing it, except people who, you know what, they have a family member that they really want, you understand, and you do that job offer, or not even a family member, if you feel that you really fit that skill and the employer really likes you, this is where LinkedIn come in play. Go on LinkedIn, be engaging, share educative content. This lady, she has been posting, her content is very educative. Her content touches and breaks the bone and the hearts of the individual. You know what I love? I want her to work in my company. I love her skill. I love her credibility. I love the way she carries herself. I love her energy. Do you get what I mean? Sorry for being dramatic. I am dramatic. I just want to sing this song in my head. Halle, 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 halle. 1,000 halle. Uh-oh. Please, I apologize for that. I'm just so excited. It's almost 1 hour. Yes! I got it done. My husband will kill me. Anyways, so let's continue. So that's for LMIA exempt, right? Positive LMIA, the employer gives you the job, and then I told you, be engaging on LinkedIn, go to recruiter website, be engaging with them. Just do some free things for them as well. Show them, hey, this is something I wrote up, or this is a project I did. Do you like it? Do you think it would be of interest to your company? I could make one for your company as well for free, you know, and you get on with that. So that's for LMI exempt. And I also wanted to talk about Francophone. You speak French? You speak French? Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for you guys to speak French. I was actually thinking of learning a second language, but not now. But that gives you an edge. They have the Francophone. They have Stream for French skilled workers as well. You want to take advantage of that. So we have finally come to the end of this broadcast. I have a freebie for you guys. I want you to, the link will be in the description. Let me see if I can also put that on the screen. Let me see if I can put that on the screen. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at immigration_vlog. Like, share, comment, click on the notification bell for more content. Subscribe. Okay, let me see. I have a free workbook for students though. This is for students. So if you are not a student, you have someone in your family that would come to Canada in the future, you could also get it. You could also get it. It doesn't necessarily have to. You could also get it. Give this to them and let them what's it called? Okay, that is it. It's you see it scrolling on the screen. That's the free. When you put that on your type that out on your browser, it should bring you to the freebie I provided for students. I hope you learned a lot. I know I was very dramatic. I hope you learned a lot. Do me well to follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, subscribe, share with your friends, like, share, comment, click on the notification bell. It is Beatrice. I will not stop because I made mistake and I don't want other people to make that same mistake. I want them to save time. You get more money, but you don't get more time. There's a time factor. You don't need to sit down in one province for 20 years. You can move. You can break through. Okay? Thank you. I have to go now. Thanks for listening. And thank you for being my audience. Make sure you get your freebie. Ask me your questions in the comment section. Follow me on one more time. Follow me at Facebook group Immigration Vlog, Instagram immigration_vlog. I took out my profile because my previous Instagram people there were I'm not saying, but a lot of people were not engaging, so I took that down. I find LinkedIn I'm very active on LinkedIn as well. I'm Beatrice Otie on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. But for the fellowship of this group, I might even change this channel to Immigration Vlog. Let's see my YouTube name to Immigration Vlog. So do me well to subscribe, okay? Thank you. I don't want to sing for you guys. my voice right now is cracked. Subscribe. See you. Take those factors into consideration. Take them into consideration, and I believe you will excel. I believe it's gonna be well with you. I'm a Christian and I firmly believe in Jesus. So yeah, I believe it will be well with you. And keep up the good work. Keep on trying. Keep on hoping, and you will break through and excel. See you next week, Monday, for another live broadcast.